So up next is Astron Energy Polo Cup, and before we get into race action, let's go and catch up with a couple of the contenders at the front end of this field.
Christopher, race one, excited, what you expecting?
Yeah, very excited. Much better results than Cape Town so far. I'm expecting to hang around where I am, maybe even possibly get into the top 5.
And the weather turned out alright, so...
Yeah, a little bit disappointed in rain. I really enjoy the rain, but play the cards we are given.
Cool, well, good luck. See you in race 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chris Tate, of course, last year's Rookie Cup champion, moving up into the Volkswagen Motorsport squad for 2026's 30th anniversary. Shrin Rajpal had a phenomenal outing yesterday. He was right at the front end of the field for a long time. Unfortunately, also had some issues right in the closing stages, which dropped him down into 9th place overall for qualifying. The top 6 was split big time, but only by a couple of hundredths of a second between Charles Smallberger, who's on pole position, and Hannes Schippers alongside him. Mara Deleuze, Milan Emsley and Roshan Goodman all pushing hard in their respective cars. Let's go and catch up now with another one of our youngsters, Milan Emsley.
Milan, race 1, excited? What you expecting?
Yeah, super excited. Did a lot better in quali, so I'm expecting a hectic but amazing battle in the front. Got some good people around me, so we'll see how it goes.
Weather's played its part, so sunny, not raining?
Yeah, I'm quite glad about it. I wasn't too sure this morning, but the sun's out now, and I think we're going to have a very, very hot race, to be honest.
Sun's out, guns out. Good luck, eh?
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out. I do like that, eh? But when it comes to Polo Cup, you don't want the guns out. These guys and girls definitely go fighting with all guns blazing when it comes to the sport that we love so much in Polo Cup. We also watch out for, of course, some changes in the top end of the field from qualifying as opposed to warm-up. Roshan Goodman had a slightly better warm-up this morning. Bjorn Bortold also looking to be at the front end of this field. Let's see what his plans are for race 1.
Race 1, what you expecting?
After a bit of a disappointing qualifying, I'm hoping I can replicate what I did in Cape Town and make a couple positions up as we went from 14th to 7th in Cape Town. I don't think it's unrealistic to opt for the same result or something similar to leave us in a better position to start race 2.
Car going well, it's not raining?
Look, I was hoping for a bit of rain today. Car's been perfect, the team have set it up perfectly. Just struggled with the track a bit as there hasn't been Polo Cup here since I've been in the series. But yeah, a bit of rain would have been nice to spice things up.
Yeah, well, good luck. See you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I like the way Bjorn put that in terms of saying that he was looking for a bit of spice with the rain. I can tell you this track in the rain is pretty spicy, bud, so I don't know if you want to be having that. Our second onboard camera, of course, here is with John Kruger, who was one of our top contenders in the Masters category yesterday, but also, unfortunately, just lost out in the final qualifying to Wayne Masters, who, of course, has become the Masters master of the Masters. Difficult man to beat in the Masters category, but he'll be looking forward to a good battle. That man has had a spectacular start to his season with the perfect weekend down in Cape Town. Hannes Schippers will be looking to do more of the same now. Let's see what his plans are for Red Star.
Hannes, race 1, you excited? What you expecting?
Yeah, super stoked. I'm expecting quite a tough race with Charles being in front and having some serious pace. So plan would be to get in front as quickly as possible and just try and keep him behind me.
Are you preferring the heat and no rain, or would you
I would have actually preferred some colder weather and maybe a slight drizzle, but yeah, we'll take it as it comes now.
well,
So they come to take up their positions now. We're on board with Shrin Rajpal, probably during this race as well. He'll be looking to try and keep Chris Tate out if he can get ahead of him. Find a way through there to at least get into that top 6 early on. Try and get away from that mid-pack. That's where things normally get a little bit more hair-raising. As we get our drone shot of this big pack of polos. And it looks like we're going to be looking forward to the provision of more of the same when it comes to Polo Cup. They have done this for 30 years and they're about to do it once again here in Mpumalanga province. Masters will move up one position or two there just to get themselves onto their correct grid positions as we stand by now for an 8-lapper of Astron Energy Polo Cup. There go they onto their warm-up lap, the final stages now. When they come round the next time, they will be taking up their positions for race start. Or was that the race start? Yeah, that should be warm-up, I think, No, this is race start. We are into race start. We normally get an extra lap with the safety car, but we're into race start here and down into turn 5. And somebody running wide there ever so slightly. I think it might have been Cyril Jacobs Jr., who was under a bit of pressure. We're on board here with Srin Rajpal. He's onto the tailpiece there of Tate. Tate comes up alongside and looking for a way through there on Milan Emsley under the brakes. And Emsley round the outside, side by side there with Roshan Goodman. So as they come out of turn 4 into 5, tricky triple left-hander, and at the front end looks like Charles Smallberger controlling things at the front of this field. In fact, no, it's Hannes Skippers. It's Skippers who's got the drop. Smallberger's dropped back down to 3rd place. So some changes there. And then behind him, Mara Deleuze. So what a way to start things out here. Here's the Masters into turn 5. Coming up onto the short back straight away. And as they go through there, John Kruger looking to close down there on Wayne Masters on the brakes. Our cameraman looking for an opportunity there to be in the front of the Masters battle. Cup class down into the dog bone. Milan Emsley side by side with Tate. How many times we've seen that in the past? And a little touch, little rubbing there between the two of them. And joining the party there, it looks like it might be the Goldwagen car. Yeah, Srin Rajpal getting into the mix as well, as he gets up alongside and squeezes Milan out. So Milan Emsley losing out 2 positions. Now falls back into the Fantech car's grass, and that of course is his teammate Berlin Robertson, sister to Tyler, who of course has moved on to the Super Cup class. We'll see her in action a bit later on today. But fantastic to see the young Berlin getting to grips with Polo Cup almost as well as she did when she climbed into an NX Legend for the first time. This is Rajpal closing onto the back end, looking for a way through now on Goodman. Sean Goodman and Mara Deleuze going at it as well, with Tate and Rajpal behind them. So a 4-way fight for potentially 5th place on track. They come to complete the first lap in anger. And across the line we go. Srin Rajpal doing an amazing job here to close that gap down rapidly. Watch out for Moore as well into the mix. So it's Moore just ahead of Roshan Goodman. He's made up 1 place. Goodman has made up that position and got through on Mara Deleuze. There's a position for a change up possibly between Srin Rajpal and Tate. They are side by side as they come out of turn 3. Rajpal will run up onto the rumble strip, but he'll have the inside line for turn 4. Is he good enough on the brakes? No, Tate should be able to outbrake him there. Or does he? No, he doesn't. There's the nose up the inside, looking for a chance to dive through. He'll be on the outside now for turn 5, so it's a long way around that Shrin's got to go. Similar to what Josh Moore is able to do there to keep out Roshan Goodman. Srin Rajpal just tucks in behind Tate. Tate tucks in behind Mara Deleuze, and Deleuze behind Goodman as they head down towards the breaking point. You can see Josh Moore putting the pressure on there big time. Goodman soaks it up. Deleuze now comes into the mix, puts the pressure straight onto Josh Moore. Moore now looking for an opportunity to keep him out and still keep on the attack, but fender to fender there. You can see almost a little light rub between the two younger rookie drivers in this category. No holds barred there between Moore and Deleuze, and an absolutely perfect start for the man out front, looking for the continuation of his perfect start to the season in the form of Hannes Skippers in the DDS car out front. Works Motorsport team are doing an amazing job of prep of some of these cars. Look at how the gap is opening up there between the top 2, and similar there between 2nd and 3rd place. No real answer from the 3rd place, 4th place and 5th place battle. That's because they're fighting so hard. They're having to fend each other off there, which slows them up ever so slightly and allows Charles Smallberger a little bit of breathing room. Roshan Goodman still in 3rd place there. Upward Spiral and Mzansi Motorsport Machine doing an amazing job for 3rd as part of Team Red. Then that's Mara Deleuze ahead now of Moore. Tate tucks in behind Srin Rajpal. Milan Emsley joining that party. He's about to get back into the mix there. Try and find a way back at Christopher Tate. Joining him will be the Fantech car of Berlin Robinson, and in the back of that it is Jaden Hurston in the AA car. So some non-stop action from the Cup category as we sideways from the Sabertech car of Charles Moorberger. He was completely lit coming out of turn 4 and 5, and eventually gets it all sorted out, but the back end stepped out on him there big time. That'll lose him a huge amount of ground to the leader, and it'll allow Roshan Goodman a chance maybe to close him down. Here they come onto the brakes here. This is 4th place, 5th place. Mauro Deleuze has lost out some ground there to the two of them, but now with the change up, he'll have to watch his rearview mirrors because he'll be looking for Srin Rajbal, not for Josh Moore anymore. Josh Moore losing out there, and has he lost out, or was he able to keep it? Yeah, he's definitely lost out. There we go. Works Motorsport and Goldwagen car of Srin Rajbal dives through, and there we go. Josh Moore losing out ever so slightly there. Stablemates fighting hard here in this Polo Cup. Through the left-hand kink. Now up towards that tricky right-hander, uphill, off camber. Let's watch how this car just rolls over slightly to the left-hand side. You can see him just come off the accelerator ever so slightly, and then up through the gearbox and bang it down the gearbox as they head onto that long back straightaway. Jaden Hurston closing down onto the back end of Berlin Robinson now. Pressure being applied there. Behind that, it's Mussolini. The FSS car not quite as quick as what it was in Cape Town. Late braking, some lockups there from a couple of Dunlops into turn 12 and 13. Berlin Robinson, I should say, just losing out there ever so slightly. We're on board there with Srin as he crosses the line. Rajpal pushing hard, and he's doing an amazing job to stay at the front end of this field and keep the fight on here big time. Look at this. This is Tate side by side with Moore. Saw that all of last season in the Rookie Cup. Volkswagen Rookie Cup, of course, are not with us this weekend. They were in PE last weekend. So Rookie Cup drivers that have moved up into Polo Cup now are in the mix here big time. And they are fighting hard for honours here in this mid-pack. Continued dominance coming out of Hannes Skippers. And also, looks like there might be a change in scenery there from the Danefern side of thing to Bedford View. I see Bedford View Dental Studio on the side of that car now. So maybe a little change in geography there for the dentist at the front end of this field. He hangs on for now and keeps out Charles Smallberger. Chatted to him this morning in pit lane. He was saying Charles probably has a little bit more experience around this track than he does, and that might change things up. Derek Smallberger certainly got a lot of experience around here, but can't quite get ahead of Wayne Masters for the lead of the Masters category. Kruger still in 3rd place. Behind that looks like it's Mike Barbaglia, and then the second of the FSS cars in Elio Mussolini. So Pierluigi and Elio not quite where they were, but I would say Elio basically was in Cape Town. Pierluigi not quite in the top 4 fight that he was in Cape Town, and maybe losing a little bit of ground here, and also going to be losing some championship points here as well. You can see that FSS car just behind the AA car there of Jaden Hurston, and that'll be outside of the top 10. Behind them, haven't really mentioned them, but you've got Nirav Singh for Kyle Army Exhausts. There you can see them just in the background starting to fan out. Dean Ross in the mix there as well, along with Bjorn Berthold. Berthold coming into the mix with Cyril Jacobs Jr. and Liam Crystal. As the cars just behind this pack we can see heading into 12 and 13. And 4 laps to go. Halfway stage reached. As we just mentioned there, Liam Crystal back of the Cup class, just ahead of the leading master there, Wayne Masters. Berlin Robinson trying to find a way through there on the AA car. Oh, little manoeuvre there from Milan Emsley, trying to find a way past on Josh Moore. Moore shut the door on him, didn't allow him through. The back of the pack here as well, we're also seeing Chris Tate still maintaining and staying ahead of Moore, Emsley, Hurston, and now that gap has been bridged slightly there by the FSS car of Pierluigi Mussolini, and he's brought Nirav Singh along for the ride as well. So the Kyalami Exhaust Polo about to join this pack of 6. Will he have a go here on the brakes maybe into turn 6? No, not quite close enough. Pierluigi though certainly closed up and gave a little tap on the back end there of the Fantech car and Team Red machine of Berlin Robinson. She lost out under braking there to Jaden Gerson, who now sets his attentions on her teammate. Top 2 coming out of the kink up into turn number 11. That will run them all the way along and into, of course, the front end fight between the two of them. They're plain sailing all on their own. Back of the pack here as well, picking up on Elio Mussolini. I mentioned him. As I said, not quite the same pace he had in Cape Town. He found some really great pace in Cape Town, did Elio. Smallberger shared honours, of course, in Cape Town with Masters. This time he's sitting behind him. And Wayne Masters, a tough man to beat here at Red Star Raceway. He's had a couple of laps around this circuit. Performance Masters car still leads out the Masters category though, and that Sabertech car of Derek has got to find a way past. So it's on a similar vein at the front of the Masters as well as what it is at the front of the Cup class. As we go back on board here with John Kruger in third. Across the line there for John, and third place still in the Masters category. What's happening here in this mid-pack? We're seeing a move from Dean Ross, slowly but surely putting the pressure onto the ailing Josh Moore. Moore's had a bit of an incident somewhere. He's got a bit of body work rubbing off the back of the car. So must have had a touch or a rub from somebody in that pack he's been fighting with. There's your third place car, Roshan Goodman. And might get a chance there to see, yeah, there's second Smallberger and first in Skippers heading towards turn 6. Gerson now opening up a little bit of a margin. Also a bit of breathing room here between these guys who are fighting further back in the pack. Nirav Singh fending off Josh Moore. And Josh Moore losing out on the inside to Dean Ross. Dean Ross in the no-brake car. Just squeezes through. Oh, and Nirav makes a mistake. Nirav runs wide, opens up the door. That allows both Moore and Dean Ross through. So the Kyalami Exhaust Polo just dropping back by the wayside there after an off-track excursion. Tries to come straight back at Josh Moore. Couldn't quite get there though. Very close. And now being closed in by a couple of cars behind him. That'll probably be Cyril Jacobs Jr., if I'm not mistaken, who's behind him. So Jacobs Jr. now about to join the party. And along for the ride with him will be, I think, possibly Berthold, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, Bjorn Berthold just behind there as well. So Bjorn Berthold about to join that fight. It's the fight for like 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14th place. There's 5 cars in that pack. Late braking required, and even later from behind. Yeah, how late do you want it? Bjorn Berthold, and Cyril Jacobs does the same thing. Moore gets sideways and sends Nirav Singh onto the grass. Nirav collects the car, gets it back onto the grass, stays ahead of Josh Moore, only just, but he would have lost a little bit of drive as he went across the grass there with 2 to go. What a run there to the line to start the penultimate lap. Moore inside, gets back up the inside, but runs a bit wide, opens up the door for Nirav. Nirav Singh dives through, retakes that position. And is joined now by Berthold. So Berthold joining the party. This is fantastic race action. This is why Polo Cup has been so successful. All of the skill these drivers are learning and about to be caught by the Masters as well because they've been fighting so hard. Will that play into the hands of Derek Smallberger? We'll have to wait and see. Chris Tate now down in 6th place. He's trying to catch Srin Rajpal, but I don't think he's going to do that. Tate has to be very worried about Jaden Gerson, who's on his tail. He's putting massive amounts of pressure now to get into that top 6 overall. And we watch as they come under braking. Moore, Jacobs Jr. And it's a late dive there from the charge at the back. It's just non-stop action wherever you look. If our camera and our director picks up on any cars on track, there's an overtaking maneuver being attempted. Saul Jacobs Jr. about to do one here on Josh Moore. See, it's exceptionally close here between these drivers, and it's exactly what we expect from Polo Cup. Nothing more, nothing less than non-stop action right through the field. Josh Moore still under attack, and Cyril Jacobs Jr. has found a way through now on him. So he's found a little gap coming onto that back straightaway. So just squeezing through. Moore trying to come back at him, but also going defensive for Liam Crystal, who's in the background. Liam Crystal going to try to go around the outside, similar to what Mario Deleuze is trying to do into turn number 1 on Roshan Goodman. Deleuze with an overtaking maneuver on the outside as his teammate Liam Crystal tried to do one on the outside into the final chicane. So Mario Deleuze now falls back into the clutches of Shrun Rajpal. Rajpal will be licking his lips for this one, with a lap to go, in with a chance here of squeezing out and stealing away another position at the front end of the field. Top 2 out of 4. Heading into 5 now. Out of turn 5 and onto the short straight they go. The Bedford Dental Services Studio car and works motorsport machine of Hannes Skippers has kept the rest of the field at bay. Smallberger could not capitalize, and a bit of a tough start for him to the day. He was looking for a victory, but it certainly looks like it's going to be perfect score once again here for the man from the Bedford View Dental Services Studio now. Well, he's got both. He's got DDS on the one side and BDS on the other side. Not quite sure which one he wants us to talk about. Depends on what side of the car we pick you up on, I suppose, Hannes. But yeah, the dentist is in full flight here, and he is doing an exceptional job of surgery in the front end of this field, showing every other car the way around Red Star Raceway today, on a similar vein to what he did in Cape Town. Charles Smallberger in the Sabertech car, also doing a magic job. He'll be looking to turn his luck around maybe for race 2 later on, as Astron Energy Polo Cup have got 2 heats today. It's Roshan Goodman for 3rd place, Mauro Deleuze for 4th at the moment. No changes there, and I don't think we're going to see any changes here as they come into the final chicane. A little lock up there from Hannes, just being cautious and maybe a little bit too cautious on the brakes as he comes into the chicane, but the checkered flag is on standby, and it's 3 out of 3 for the dentist. Dr. Hannes Skippers with 3 out of 3 in Polo Cup. Here's Masters versus Derek Smallberger, heading into that final chicane for the Masters win. They've got a battle ahead of them there. Liam Crystal side by side with Moore. Will that affect these two? Yeah, one's run wide. Crystal stays on track. Josh Moore runs off the circuit, comes straight ahead, and almost right into the clutches there of Wayne Masters. Masters has to go defensive on Smallberger across the line, and just stays ahead. Kruger in 3rd place. That was pretty close there. Mike Barbaglia wraps up the top 4. Fantastic finish there for him. But how close do you want it there between the 2 Masters cars? Mixing it up with 2 junior category cars, fighting hard and knocking each other off the circuit. Very lucky that the experience came into play there for Wayne Masters and Derek Smallberger. But there you have unofficial results. Hannes Skippers, Charles Smallberger, Roshan Goodman and Mauro Deleuze ahead of Jaden Hurston and Milan Emsley. Behind that, it was Pierluigi Mussolini. Chris Tate dropped down to 9th place. He'll be disappointed with that. Berlin Robertson in 10th ahead of Dean Ross. Bjorn Berthold and Nirov Singh sticking together for 12 and 13. Jacobs Jr. eventually coming through to beat out Liam Crystal, who just stayed ahead of Josh Moore, who was knocked wide by Crystal in that final chicane. And they stayed ahead of the top 4 in the Masters, being Wayne Masters, Derek Smallberger, John Kruger, and Mike Barbaglia from Paybar. So that's how we wrap up our first heat of Astron Energy Polo Cup